What's going on YouTube? This is Chaos-Reighn here once again bringing you a different iShot video. Now, my other video I had just posted was a Eternity Shot iShot video that was requested by a friend, and this video is going to be a pretty much an update of my current and biggest biggest overtime pet project that I just finished recently in this last league, and basically going over piece by piece what this build is and how much of a passion project it has really been to make it. So there is obviously, as anyone who has seen any kind of content in my channel knows, my main build is iShot. I have played other builds, I do have other builds, and I can explain to you how to play the other builds I have, but my main build is iShot. I can play Tornado Shot to an extent, I'm still learning it. Um, but I've pretty much broken down and taken apart this build so many times that I can tell what skills, what damage, in what aspect, and as such I can kind of give you a rundown for everything that you need to know. So first things first, we're going to start with our gear. So as our gear, we have two uniques equipped. Currently, we are still using a Azanath's Chant with a iShot Area of Effect enchant. Now, I chose this for this build specifically because I have so much damage in this build that I don't need any more damage. My clear is literally as high as I can get it, and if it can go higher, it is with a synth bow that is completely perfectly crafted that I probably would have to trade an arm and a leg for. And the other item is a Huri's Truth replica, anointed with Whispers of Doom. So other than that, everything else in my gear is crafted and is pretty much as quote-unquote baller as you can get it. Obviously, I can add crit catalyst to this or attack catalyst to this to change and get more damage, but not really necessary. So yeah. So let's start with our bow. Our bow is a fractured fizz bow with a lot of fizz damage, and we also have fizz modifiers have 8% increased effect. Now, I didn't do the 2 arrows on this bow because I wanted a bow that pretty much had as much just overall flat output of damage as possible without relying on getting extra arrows. Because I am accustomed to using greater multiple projectiles as basically a spam skill, and that is something I'm normally used to doing. I do need to color this bow again and put 3 white on it eventually, and when I do, I can switch my bow from with skill gems for my bow to my armor. And I want to do that because my armor is a elevated explode, elevated socketed support, and elevated base crit armor. Now, the main reason why I want to put the skill gems in here is because of that socketed support and quality. It gives me a lot more single target damage, and basically makes it so I delete things very, very quickly. Now, it's not necessary, as you've seen the videos in the past with this build, I literally can do all content. I can literally kill Cyrus, I can literally kill Elder, I can kill Shaper, I can kill Uber Elder, I can do literally anything with it, so I don't need to do much. So next we will move on to our rings. Our first ring is a dual res ring with cold damage to spells and attacks, cold damage against frozen shield enemies, and elemental damage with attacks, with elemental catalyst on it. Our second ring is a projectile attack damage, added cold damage per frenzy, cold damage to spells and attacks, crit multi-crit chance cold damage ring. Our quiver is a elemental damage with attacks quiver, crit quiver with elemental damage with attacks, bow attacks, fire an additional arrow, gain fizz as cold, chance to blind, and global crit multi with crafted on attack speed. If you didn't know, crafted on attack speed is 1 attack speed lower than tier 1 attack speed on quivers, so that's why I left this open in case I wanted to put anything else such as resistances or anything. Our belt is basically a legacy belt that has underground mods that used to exist and now don't because they're only on Redeemer now. This belt is the highest DPS belt currently in standard and has more damage than any other belt possible. Me and a friend did try to push for the tier 1 elemental damage with attacks, but it didn't work, didn't pan out, so we decided to settle for tier 2. It is still the highest DPS belt in and standard right now, and is outputting so much damage, so much more damage than any other belt I've ever made. Our cluster is a fractured multi with T2 life, T3 fire damage to bow attacks, and movement speed if I haven't taken damage recently. Mainly like it for the multi and movement speed. The life is a little bonus, and then the fire damage just kind of just adds a little bit of damage. Our boots are triple elevated tailwind elusive onslaught boots with movement speed T1 life, T1 lightning res. We have attack speed if I've killed recently instead of more movement speed, because as a Deadeye we already have tailwind. So we have insane tailwind effect because our tailwind is literally always on us. We're basically getting the elusive and the onslaught and everything like that bonus from this boots, and then tailwind effect is just a really nice add. Our gloves are triple elevated 7 link double attack speed plus +1 gems. Pierce gloves with socketed attacks have 70 crit multi. This is where our clear skill goes, which is our just ice shot with clear. Our ice shot with clear is GMP, inspiration, ice shot, chain. We have no other added cold or anything like that because we don't need it. We have faster projectiles, faster attacks, faster projectiles, and socketed gems are supported by crit multi, along with the +1 to socketed projectile gems, which, if you can't tell, GMP is a projectile gem, ice shot's a projectile gem, and chain is a projectile gem, so we get +1 to 3 gems. And then our boots have grace, enlighten, herald of ice, and then we can flex another socket in, but we just haven't done it yet. We just like to leave it open just cause. I don't have hatred in my kit because hatred is actually granted right here, and because hatred is granted right here, I don't really need to and it reserves us. I don't really need to do too much to get this grace on, or not. Yeah, get grace on. Grace gives me an insane amount of just overall evasion, and when I pop Val Grace, I get basically unhittable for a little bit of time. Oh, excuse me. And in our armor, we have our second wind, our dash, and then we have ensnaring arrow, LE weakness, frostbite, hex touch. This is how we apply our 2 curses. If we hit with ensnaring arrow, it applies our 2 curses, and that's basically, if you look here, ensnaring arrow says, let's see, ensnares 30% less movement speed on unique enemies, and each snare applied, no, it says ensnared enemies take 20% increased projectile damage from attack hits, which is a lot of extra damage. Basically, it's 20% more. On top of that, enemies that are cursed take 44%, or have minus 44%, plus another, let's see, 45%, and then we have increased, what is it called? Increased freeze duration, just the standard frostbite. Then in our helmet is the typical Hydrosphere, Blood Rage, Enhanced, Sniper's Mark. I could drop the Enhanced for Culling if I wanted to, but I don't need to because I just literally melt things. On our tree, we have a triple or a double hatred precision Watcher's Eye. We don't need any more crit because we got a lot of crit from level 20 precision and the rest of our tree. We are speccing down here. Instead of taking a crit or any kind of cluster like that, all we're taking is a cold resistance cluster. Because we have so much damage, we don't really need to worry about anything but resistances, so we're fixing our resistances otherwise. Because we are not using precision, actually I said we're using precision, but we're not using precision. We are actually taking these 3 nodes for a little bit of accuracy and attack speed. The accuracy puts me to a average chance to hit of 96-91, which is more than enough for me to just delete things. I am using the full bow wheel, so I get attack speed and crit chance. We have the 2 conversion nodes here, and then down here we have here another 3 passive voices with 3 crit clusters, and then a split personality dex int, split personality strength dex here. Our clusters are, see, crit chance double damage, movement speed if I have crit, movement speed if I have crit chance double damage, then crit chance affected non-damaging elements when I crit, and crit chance double damage, and then our last thing is another cluster just for a little bit more resistances. As you can see, I'm not fully resistance capped, but I mean, if I really try hard enough, I can roll clusters and finish it off. I've just been pretty lazy. Our jewels, other than our Inspired Learning, is a Corrupted Blood Inspired, or other than our Watcher's Eye, is 1 Corrupted Blood Inspired Learning. And I believe that's it. We don't have a lot more jewels to speak of. We are currently level 97 on this current build of Ice Shot. This is our second highest build Ice Shot we have. And without further ado, I am going to do just like I did in the last one and pick a map. We're going to pick this Maze of the Minotaur, identify it. Alright, Hexproof Elemental Equilibrium. Alright, that's all fine. Now this is basically what the culmination of many leagues dropping down to standard and me piecing this build together piece by piece kind of comes to. So don't expect to accomplish this in one league on console especially. Oh, shoot. This is basically my passion project, and I've been working on it for a while because Ice Shot is by far my favorite build. But let's go ahead and get into the map. It looks like we can't have Maven and Witness this one, sadly. Divergent, Mirage, Archer, Skill Effect, Duration. I think I have like 3 of those, but... Oh, sorry, that's my sleep debt kicking in. I haven't slept too much today, so I am yawning. Alright, let's go ahead and quickly get through this map real quick. As you can see, my clear is just insane. I don't really have any enemies. I swear, there were enemies, but they just disappear. I don't really see them for more than a couple of seconds. I don't have extra life like I did on my E-Shot one, but I do have LE Equilibrium, so I can kind of show you that, you know, even through LE Equilibrium, I can push through the 50 resistance and pretty much delete the boss. Yes, I get it. You want my Mirage Archer, but that doesn't mean I want to sell it to you, buddy. Replica Hiri's Truth for 160 Chaos. That is 3x in standard. Excuse me, there's my alarm. I gotta turn it off. Alright. So let's put a portal up just in case. I don't think I'll need it, but just in case. Boom. And that was with Elemental Equilibrium on. I am only applying 1 element in this build, so that's with 50 extra elemental resistance on him. I believe that's the only modifier we had, but he had 50 extra elemental resistance on him. If I had any other element that was applying, like, for example, consistently, such as this, or if I had, like, a Hiri's Demise, I would be basically Elemental Equilibrium him and just delete him. But I don't. I am mainly cold, so I'm giving him 50 cold res and then still killing him through it. As you saw, I don't have any issues with Elemental Equilibrium on bosses, and Cyrus, because he doesn't have anything like that, is just a joke because of it. And as such, I will bid you all adieu. This video was just me kind of showing you basically what you can look forward to towards the very, very end of your build. And I will say the belt I have is optional. You can use pretty much any Stygian Vice with life and stuff like that, and with a little bit of damage. This belt is just... I have this belt because it was a... It's just my favorite belt, and I use it for this build. That's the only reason. I don't really have another reason other than that. But, well, without further ado, I do appreciate you joining me with my builds, and if you do like me updating my Ice Shot builds and you do want to see them, then please feel free to tell me. There is one more Ice Shot build that I need to cover, and I will be covering it in the next day or so. That is my Magic Find Ice Shot build that I used to do that Delirium farm. And I wanted to kind of do it before, but I've been busy in League. Now I have a little bit more time now that I have finished my build in League, and I am only grinding currency for a headhunter or whatever for that matter. I will gladly, if anyone needs, be willing to answer any kind of questions for you, and if you have any kind of inkling of what you want to do as far as iShot goes and you need help with it, please let me know. I will answer any questions. If you want me to stream, then feel free to message me on if you know me on PlayStation, do it there. If you don't know me on PlayStation, or if you know me on YouTube, you can always send me a message in one of my comments and I will get to it as soon as I can. Today, like I said, I've been sleep deprived, so I haven't even checked YouTube. It's just been like an afterthought for me. I've just been playing mindlessly for the whole day. But I do appreciate anyone who does take the time to watch this video, and if you could please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends if it does interest you or them, that would be great. I do appreciate it, and like always, I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good one.